considering the circumstances and considering what's happened in the last couple of weeks, just how important was this win?
Yeah, I think it was, just a great win in terms of from an energy standpoint. I thought we were very sluggish in our last game. I think a lot had to do with Wisconsin. I thought they played very hard, but we did some good things on the defensive end. We just didn't show much poise offensively in our last game, and I thought we showed much more poise, and we did a much better job of executing. But Penn State's a really good team. They're an NCAA tournament team. I'm not knowledgeable on everybody's resume and knowing what's going out there, but I know when you play somebody and how good they are. And they get you into ISOs and put you in binds like nobody in our league. And we're very fortunate to win this game. And I got nothing but great things to say about what Pat's done and his staff's done. And those guys, those are sophomores. Those guys aren't guys that have been around for a long time, and they're out there making huge plays outside of Shep. They got some really young guys that are talented, and they're a very, very dangerous team. So this was a big win for us.
Matt, what did you think about the way you guys responded, knowing that Vince wasn't going to get to play?
Right. Well, I thought the guys that played more, gave us a great effort and put a lot of energy into defending. I thought Grady Eifert and Nogel Eastern both, played good, hard-nosed physical basketball. They got in the passing lanes. They deflected balls. They guarded. They gave the energy to it. And I think sometimes as you go through the season, you lose a little bit of that. Your focus needs to be, on the constants. Running, rebounding, defending, and just giving all-out effort. But sometimes you don't, quite do that when you get a little complacent and you play all the time. You lose a little bit of that edge. And I think they gave us a little bit of an edge tonight with their play.
What about the response from Dakota? He obviously is a guy who probably took the last couple of games pretty personal, especially the Wisconsin game.
Right.
Did you see anything from him in particular that kind of led this effort?
Well, I think at times you get opportunities and you don't get quite as many opportunities, and it was a tough game for all of us. And what you want is guys to respond to adversity. And I thought tonight he stepped up and really played hard and did a lot of little things for us. And anytime that he can get into a rhythm shooting the basketball, that helps us. It helps us have balance. And then Carson obviously had a huge night driving the ball and knocking down shots. And then Klein made a couple really good shots. But it was a good game for a lot of people. But definitely good to see Dakota play well.
What can you tell us about Vince's situation, either how it happened or what?
Yeah, he just sprained it in a transition drill in practice, and so that's really the only thing. But it's a sprain. They took a scan, and so there's nothing wrong with it from a structural standpoint. So he just got a really good sprained ankle. So I would think that it'd be a kind of a game time decision for Thursday if you made me handicap it.
So before the end of the regular season, you don't know, but you're optimistic at least that he'll be back.
Yeah. He'll play at some point. I wouldn't think that sometimes they're tricky. They can linger. You get some of those high ankle sprains, but I would think he would be able to play. I don't know if he can play the next game, but he's going to play at some point.
Matt, Ryan kind of talked about learning how to accept this role of maybe not playing a lot of minutes consistently. He got 21 tonight, and obviously, like you said, hit some big baskets. How has he just kind of handled that for you guys, and to see him respond then in tonight?
Well, I think any time that you don't play as many minutes, normally it's something that you did. And it's nothing that he's done. He's a guy that's been very productive for us, but the guys that he competes with are guys that play more. So sometimes he'll do some good things and he comes out because I'm putting other guys in. It's hard to look at it that way when it's you. It's easy when you write a story or I'm the head coach. I'm saying, well, I'm going to put in Dakota Mathias or Carson Edwards, and then he's going to come out when he played for 4 minutes and did some really good things. So that's frustrating as a player. It's really frustrating. But you just try to be as transparent as possible as a coach and be honest about things. And he's done a really good job. And they said on the radio, like he finally hit some shots. I said he hasn't gotten any shots. And that's kind of part of it when you're running things. For Carson and Vince and Dakota and Isaac, P.J. Thompson and Ryan Klein need to get open threes. We need to generate open threes for them off of double teams, off of penetrating pitch, and that's valuable, and that really helps our spacing. So tonight was, huge, not just for Ryan, but for our team also.
What's the balance you're trying to strike right now, and how you use your point guards? Obviously, the last couple of games, Jill has made quite a defensive impact. PJ is not
Right.
making shots. Just what are you trying to?
Right.
What are you trying to?
Yeah, well,
do
no
there?
gel allows us to, Tony Carr is such a big point, and he's a tough cover, so he allows us to put size on him at that position, and he also can guard a guy like Lamar Stevens. And so that was what we really talked about. I thought no gel, was one of the few guys that had energy at Wisconsin. I thought he played well, he was active, he got steals. And then when I took him out late, it was more of taking him out after he had a couple breakdowns because I thought he got tired. And it's hard, it's hard when you play 10, 12 minutes a game, and all of a sudden you play more, especially in a long stretch. You get fatigued, and as a coach, you're trying to get them to that point and get them out before that happens. Then after it happens, you kind of kick yourself a little bit. But I thought tonight he was, was able to handle his fatigue and fight through, take care of the basketball, and do some little things, from a defensive standpoint.
Is there kind of a fine line to strike there too at the end of close games like this, where you got to get a rebound and no gel can help you there, but you got to make a free throw, and PJ's
Yeah.
obviously so good.
Yeah, no question. That is our dilemma. And if you have the answer, I'd love to have it. But it's not football. And so you're not going to huddle and have different offensive players and defensive players. So you've got to be able to make that decision and be able to live with it. So there at the end of the game, that was what, we were up against. And, if you don't get the rebound, you don't get to the free throw line. So you got to think that's more important. You just do. I'd rather get the rebound, miss the free throws, than not get the rebound and they make a bucket. So you make them make one more play. But if it happens, you're going to get scrutinized for that. But that's part of the business.
You lost rebounds by 7, but considering Vince's absence, how crucial was the foul, getting Watkins in foul trouble early on?
Oh, it's huge. That's, what we try to do no matter who we're playing, is try to establish a low post presence and getting him into foul trouble. He is their main low post guy. And so, but it's not anything different, than we're doing in a regular game. No matter who we're playing, we're trying to establish that. That always helps us get balance. And they get into those wrestling matches, if we can break people down, off the dribble, then that back line helps not quite there because they're in those wrestling matches down there. But there's no doubt that was huge for us getting Big Mike into foul trouble.
Did you see some particular substance from your team in this game because of what happened the last 3 games, but also because they were down 9 in the first half?
Yeah, I thought, we got into a little bit of a rut once again offensively, and we talked about it when we got down 9 of, don't, think we're going to get it back all at one time. Carson made a couple really big-time shots for us there at the end of the first half to close that gap. I thought that was an important kind of sequence for us there. But no, I thought they showed, a lot of character of just kind of hanging in there. Our issue has been when we get leads more than anything. We've had a fight to us when we've gotten down. But when we get those leads, and that's what we talked about in that second half, and I wasn't as upset with them, for losing the lead that we did, just because how it happened. We were missing free throws. No one's trying to miss free throws. So, we'd split a pair, we'd miss 2, we'd split a pair, we'd miss 2, and then we'd walk away with, 4 quality possessions and 2 points. We should have 8 to 10 points there, and we don't. So just trying to keep them positive and say, hey, we're doing good things. They're fouling us. We just got to be able to convert some of these. But that was more of the issue, in my opinion, of when we got that lead and how they kind of jumped, and not being able to get off, get defensive rebounds. They got some offensive rebounds and converted it on us. So our defense wasn't as bad, but, it's hard because I want an offensive line. I kept Ryan Klein in there as a 4, and I was going to put Grady back in, and then he makes those, that 3, which was a big 3 for us. But I wanted to get Grady in there because we couldn't get a rebound. So it's a real dilemma sometimes when you get to those points, but our guys were able to fight through it.
Anything else?
Thanks.